Good evening, race fans. Coming to you from the virtual Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway here in Nashville, Tennessee. We are ready to go racing. Once again, I am the boss man, Al Smith, bringing you all tonight's actions here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. We hope you have buckled in, got yourself a good cup of coffee here for the Coffee Cup Racing Series. This is the DECAF Late Model Tour entering its it's the penultimate week of the season. Next week, we have a double header from the Bull Ring out in Las Vegas. But before we get there and before we can crown a champion, they must tackle this Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. Right now, 15 drivers are queued up, ready to go racing for tonight's racing activity. Let's take a look at the race information after a week off. We are here, like I said, at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. It is 450 feet above sea level. Right now, the air temperature is 78 degrees, track temperature 81. We expect that to come down. If you were not with us 2 weeks ago, it was Joe Schaefer picking up his 5th win of the season, with current points leader Guillaume Fortin coming home second, and fellow Wisconsinner Bill Martin coming home in the 3rd position. So tonight's racing is 100 laps in distance. Yellow flags will not count as we get ready for that action. We'll take a look here at the point standings coming into tonight's racing activity here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. And the point standings are brought to you by Arts Barbershop up there in Morrisville, Vermont. Guillaume Fortin, the driver out of Quebec, Canada, is leading the way. But remember, there is one drop, which will get factored in tonight. So the points could get shuffled up, headed into the double feature next week here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Is the field working around the speedway? Joe Schaefer there in second, Justin Rigsby, A.J. Hamill, Matt Eddy rounding out your top 5 in the point standings. Right now, I can tell you that Schaefer is leading the way in time. Right now, he's ran almost 52 laps of practice so far tonight. The driver with the most laps is the driver of the Arts Barbershop, number 18 of A.J. Hamill. He's put in 95 laps now as they work around the speedway. Right now, we're being told by our Chief Director of Operations here in the Coffee Cup Racing League, the new race director, Charlie Smith himself, is up high in the tower with us here at the Turn 3 Racing Network, and he says that it is time for the national anthems. And so we will step away here as the drivers will get ready to go through their drivers meeting here momentarily. So we hope you've buckled yourself in for some high side-by-side racing here in the high banks at the fairgrounds here in Nashville. So we'll do that, and we'll be right back here on the Turn 3 Racing Network.
the most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is Iracing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic, real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is Iracing.
And welcome back to the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway with practice just wrapping up here tonight for the penultimate race of the DECAF Late Model Tour. Hard to believe that it's already been 9 weeks of racing as we get ready to go with tonight's race, the Nashville Hot Night here. The newest track onto the service as well for these drivers, so not some of these guys seeing it for the very first time here tonight. Others have been here multiple times. The driver of the number 13 of Zach Hoyer, I don't see he's here tonight yet, but he is a racer here weekly. This is race number 9, as next week is championship night here for the DECAF Late Model Tours, and it'll be at the Bullring, coming to you next week at 9 o'clock Eastern. Doubleheader twin 100s next Monday night to wrap out the inaugural season for the DECAF Late Model Tour. And, well, it's been a great season so far as we come into Nashville. Joe Schaefer, the winningest driver so far this season, has had 5 wins on the season. Can anybody put a stop to him as he trails Guillaume Fortin coming into tonight? But with those 5 wins, I have a feeling that the points battle will shape up even tighter heading in to the bull ring. I was talking with both drivers over the break there, and well, Fortin said that it was not probably one of his best tracks, and what probably going to put in quite a bit of laps into it next week before the races there for twin 100s. New tire model. The car has gotten some works on there, so the tires will fall off. It turns a little bit better from what I'm being told from the competitors. The car definitely better than what it was, and some drivers are being able to grasp it, and some, well, they're still a little bit struggling with it. I know Fortin says he's putting in a lot of time with his teammates over at the 09 Motorsports, trying to bring home the inaugural championship for the DECAF Late Model Tour. Taking a look on the screen right now, that is your current points standings for the DECAF Late Model Tour. And it is Fortin that shows the way with his 09 Motorsports entry, sponsored by Rumar Vinyl Designs up in Lowellville, New York, and Racing Designs. If you good sponsor there for Fortin, been a long time supporter of his racing, so good to see them on board the 13 as we are just wrapping up the drivers meeting. Cars are down on pit road. We should be able to be headed grid side here very shortly, as we take a look here at your current standings for practice with just 5 minutes left. I imagine that'll get erased. Joe Schaefer quickest over Justin Rigsby. AJ Hamill third quick here tonight, so looking pretty good out there for the Arts Barbershop. If you're a fan of AJ Hamill, you have to have a favorite if you're out there watching. And well, I can tell you right now, we have 16 drivers signing in to do battle with us, and our pole sitter tonight should be the number 30 of Dean Gallison. Gallison just unloading his number 30, so he'll lead the field to the green flag. I believe outside pole sitter will be the number 22 out of Tennessee. That is Mike Holtzclaw in the On Pit Road Racing.com number 22. Mike, a longtime competitor on the short track around the sim. That's how your front row should line up, unless the driver out of Vermont, Brian Rogers Jr., makes a late entry into tonight's server here at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. This track is a very, very tough and tricky track to get around. as the drivers meeting starting to get wrapped up. I believe cars will be headed back out onto the speedway here as we look high above the speedway. Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway is the motorsports racetrack located in Nashville Fairgrounds near downtown Nashville, Tennessee. The track is the oldest continually operated track in the United States. The track held Grand National Winston Cup Series from now in the races from 1958 to 1984. Track is currently an 18-degree banked paved oval, just over about half mile. I think it's a little bit bigger than a half mile. I believe it is 5/8 of a mile racetrack. They look here. There's a lot of drivers in the 2000 Tennessee All-American 400 resurrected for the 2012 Yark Menard Series. Also visits there. Last year in 2019, the NOS Energy Drink World of Outlaw Sprint Cars. They put the dirt down on the little quarter mile you'll see right there on the front stretch. They took and put the dirt down and ran some sprint cars and late models and all that on a little short little track there, and it was a pretty good show from my understandings. And well, as everybody knows, they are trying to get NASCAR back to the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. We hope it happens. We love the short track racing, especially here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. So we hope you guys are enjoying so far here tonight as we are ready to go. Once the competitors are ready to go, so giving some drivers a little more extra seat time out there as they work around the speedway. Here, Eric Steele out there in car number 32. So that is how they will roll up here. So should be a pretty good time here tonight. I believe that we will see a lot of side-by-side action. Take a look here from the grandstands where our great fans of the DECAF Late Model Tour, this is what they're seeing here tonight. Way up there, almost in the top row underneath the covered grandstands here, just in case of precipitation. As we look at the driver number 32, that's Eric Steele. Know Eric pretty well. I ran RC cars with him. He's from the South Burlington, Vermont. Always a fun guy to be around, loves having a great time, and that's why we do iRacing. As we get ready to go with tonight's starting lineup here, the grid is setting up as they are down on pit road here. So we'll take a look once they start gridding up here, and it's on the front row as we bring up tonight's starting grid. Starting on the inside of row number 1 will be car number 30. That is Dean Gallison. Outside of him, the driver out of Tennessee, hometown kid, Mike Holtzclaw, on car number 22. Starting on the inside of row number 2 will be Jeremy Watkins in car number 77. To his outside, the tech inspector himself from the Doubles Bowl Speedway. This is Jeremy Carpenter in the CEG Gaming number 777. Jeremy Carpenter starting 4th. Rex Hoyle in car number 54 will roll off in the 5th spot. To his outside, the driver out of Vermont, the number 8 of Andy Lambert. Jeff Stiles will make up the inside of row number 4. To his outside will be the 05 of Dylan Blankenship. Blankenship scheduled to roll off in spot number 9. It sounds like some issues here already on the front stretch. Here, take a look here. Eric Steele going to start 9th. Matt Eddy in car number 88 will start in the 10th position. Starting on the inside of row number 6, A.J. Hamill in the Arts Barbershop. Car number 18 and Joe Schaefer Jr. will start 12th on the grid. Starting in the 13th spot, Justin Rigsby, Guillaume Fort, and our current points leader going to start 14th. And shotgun on the field, Adam Jones in car number 89 and Jason Garrett in car number 35, also known as Fluffy. So that is your starting lineup here tonight as we get ready to go racing for 100 laps. It looks like issues for the 05 and the 777 of Jeremy Carpenter down on pit road. Hopefully they'll be able to get back out onto the racetrack as the pace car makes the hard left-hand turn. Watkins and Lambert going to take us to the green flag. They come off turn number 4. The green flag is out, and the Coffee Cup Racing League is green. Field will file down in the turn number 1. It is Watkins showing the way here on the 54. Rex Hoyle quickly moving to the inside of the 8 of Andy Lambert. Lambert on the outside. They race down here, put lap number 1 in the books. Lap 1 in the books is the number 77 of Jeremy Watkins showing the way as the 777 of Carpenter coming out onto the speedway possibly got a penalty. Is now trouble. Looks like the number 98 of Chris Stump and his teammate AJ Hamill with some issues here on the speedway. Let's take a look and see if we can go back and see what happened. Coming off turn number 4 here, they race down the front stretch. Stump with the outside move. He had pulled alongside the 32. Oh, the 32 of Eric Steele and the 98 of Stump just make contact, and around goes the number 98 of Stump, and AJ Hamill just nowhere to go. Let's take it back here and see. Here as we ride with AJ Hamill. Let's go on the roof cam brought to us tonight by the Turn 3 Racing Network. The slight contact between the 32 and the 98 of Chris Stump here, and that had nowhere to go for the Oxford Barber Shop. Number 18 of AJ Hamill. So tough break here for that driver. Heavy right side damage to that number 18. So he is down on pit road. The good news for that team is that they are not going to be losing laps right now underneath the yellow flag as the team works there. But your race leader is Rex Hoyle. Looks like the 77 of Watkins has come down pit road. So it'll give Rex Hoyle your point right now up on the front of this one. Rex Hoyle looking back there as the yellow lights still stay out on the speedway. Hoyle and Lambert will make up your front row. Jeff Stiles in car number 85 will be running in your 3rd spot. Matt Eddy all the way up to your 4th spot already. But we will have to see if the 98 of Chris Stump can make it back out onto the racetrack here. Hello, Rob. Good to see you out there. Well, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you're doing all right. We're missing you out on the racetrack, but we know that you had a busy weekend of racing yourself, so you're probably getting the race cars all cleaned up and ready to go again. So we miss you. Hopefully we'll see you next week out at the bull ring. As lights go out around the speedway, that means we're going back green flag racing off of turn number 4. It'll be Rex Hoyle and Andy Lambert up on the front of this one. Jeff Stiles and Matt Eddy making up row number 2. Then it is Joe Schaefer in car number 6 and the 13 of Guillaume Fortin as the field works off turn number 4. The pace car down on the pit road. Green flag is back out and we're back underway. Everybody cleaning green as they work down the backstretch. Hoyle jumping out to your race lead with Stiles on the inside. Not quite sure where Lambert has gone. Side-by-side battle right here. The 13 of Fortin. He's got Fluffy Garrett to the inside, the number 35. Fortin and Garrett coming off the corner. They're evened up. That momentum on the outside. Here comes Fortin. Driving a little bit deeper in that outer lane. And the inside lane does have some bumps. That time off turn number 2, Fluffy will clear him. Here comes Justin Rigsby in car number 99. Stiles now works to the inside of the 88 of Eddie. Eddie with a nice move on the outside. The driver out of Michigan. Crack in the top 2 is now Stiles trying to figure out a way to pass him. Here comes Schaefer. Schaefer's got the outside roll. Crossover. Back there, Fluffy hard in the outside retaining wall off turn number 4. Gathers it back up. Drops him back to the 6th spot. He's up 10 since the green flag is dropped. So a tough hit for the 35 as we got a good battle. Schaefer working on already. Stiles. They work down here in the turn number 1. Down the backstretch they come. It is Schaefer trying to get the nose out in front of Stiles and crack the podium. That is a good battle. That is side by side off turn number 2. Eddie's starting to apply the pressure. He sees the Epic Media number 6. He gets a little bit loose that time off a turn number 2. Now they come off 4. Fortin right there as well. Crack inside the top 5. Bid for your race lead. Starting to shape up. Eddie's got the bike cranking up on the outside of the speedway, trying to get that number 88 alongside the 55 of Rex Hoyle. Eddie really throwing it down into turn number 1 and 2. Lose some ground about a 2 finally committed. Here comes the number 6 of Schaefer. Schaefer will draw even to the numbers in the turn number 3. Evened up as they come out the corner. Drag race off turn number 2. It'll be Schaefer taking over spot number 2 from Eddie. Eddie might have made those tires a little unhappy as now Fortin. He'll take a bid underneath the number 85 of Stiles. Nothing doing that time as they race down in the turn number 3. 12 laps going to be completed this time by they work down the backstretch. We go on the track racer on board with Jeff Stiles looking out the front. See how bumpy that inside line is. The track actually is smoother up the racetrack, but sometimes just isn't fast enough. Goes Stiles in the outside wall, that time down the front stretch. That allows the 13 of Fortin to get on by up front. Things are starting to heat up though. Is Schaefer going for the 6th win of the season here tonight in his Epic Media number Ford, trying to find a way around Rex Hoyle. Not quite to the quarter mark of this feature event here in Nashville Hot Night for the DECAF Late Model Tour. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Let's go a little bit deeper back in the field as things have single filed out up front. See Mike Holtzclaw, your outside pole sitter. He's got that number 22 wound up, trying to get around Justin Rigsby. He is 9th. Fluffy right there in front of him. That's Garrett in the 35. This is a good little 4-car battle inside the top 10. See the different lines right down on the yellow line is Mike Holzclaw, the 99 of Rigsby, kind of running this little, about a half a car up the racetrack. Now up, enters high, and then kind of diamonds the corner off to get that run down the banking with these late models. Watkins running there in your 10th spot. As Hoyle still showing out front. Let's take a look at the last time lap by. 20.158 for Hoyle as we watch this battle back here for your 9th position. Eric Steele runs in your 11th spot. Andy Lambert in 12th. Chris Stump back out onto the speedway. He's running back here in the 13th spot. Dean Gallison also in car number 30. And Jeremy Carpenter down 4 laps to your race leader. Runs just in front of him, so Carpenter not having the luck off of pit road. Something happened. As up front, it is Rex Hoyle. Off turn number 2, it'll be Hoyle showing the way. The American Tire Distributor, car number 54. Our second leader, our early race leader, the 77 of Watkins, runs in your 10th spot. Good battle shaping up between the 88 of Eddie. He's got Adam Jones to the inside in car number 89. This would be the battle for 5th. Styles in the 85 right there in front of him. He runs in your 4th position. Is the Nationwide Auto Parts. Pontiac rolling the outside. He'll hold on to 5th. Going for 4th now as they head down the turn numbers 1 and 2. Eddie must have cooled off those tires as they work into the corner. This is a battle. They draw even at the stripe. I believe Eddie's going to take over that 4th spot, running the outside of the speedway. Styles will battle back to the inside. This good 3-car battle as they head down to the turns 3. 3 wide down the front stretch. Jones to the inside. He'll put Styles in the middle. Eddie way up in the 3rd lane. He'll lose 2 positions as Jones will take over 4th. Styles now come back to the inside. Great racing here, back here for your 5th position. Up front, still 2 tenths separating your race leader, which is Rex Hoyle, as this battle is raging on. Right behind them, another good battle. This is for the 10th position. Is Hoyle, or Rex, not Rex Hoyle, but Mike Holzclaw in car number 22. He's trying to get around the 77 of Watkins, but Watkins holding the wheel pretty down on the inside. The momentum on the outside will work for the 22's favor. That'll put Holzclaw into your 9th position. Watkins runs in 10th. Here comes Eric Steele in the number 8 of Andy Lambert. Keeping an eye up front here now is Rex Hoyle, who's under fire. 3-car battle between your race leaders. Hoyle on the outside. Here comes Joe Schaefer to the inside, and Guillaume Fortin. He wants to play with these guys. They work down the backstretch. 3-car battle. Who will make it work? Schaefer going to really throw it in hard. He'll try to slide up the racetrack, but he'll hold it down. As yellow flag will fly, I believe that will negate the pass for your race lead. Yellow flag coming out. It looks like trouble with the 22. It's Mike Holzclaw getting back, pointed back in the right direction. Remember, he was battling with Eric Steele and Andy Lambert back there for your 9th and 10th position. Watkins as well. So let's see what the truck has to see what happened to the number 22 of Mike Holtzclaw. Racing down the backstretch with the 77 of Watkins. 32 of Eric Steele on the inside, kind of caught the apron a little bit out of shape. Oh, Steele just gets into the corner hot and gets to the back bumper of the 22, and around they will go. Andy Lambert involved, nowhere for him to go. Let's see if we can ride in car with Andy Lambert. See them battling in front of him side by side. Just gets in the corner, contact there. And the 22 comes down and there's nowhere to go. Slight contact with the number 8 of Andy Lambert here tonight as they pull away. Let's see, we'll go one more time. Take a look here with the Horse Dog Motorsports Corvette parts number 32. Good little 4-car battle was happening. And just contact with the 22 on that left rear corner. Around went Mike Holtzclaw. He's down here on the inside. I believe it'll be all right. Mike's got a little bit of damage. Oh, the leader's almost getting him. So you see the 22 of Holtzclaw down on pit road getting his car fixed here on pit road after just slight contact. Matt Eddy down on pit road as well. Andy Lambert getting the damage fixed to his priority auto number 8. Right now, 31 laps in the book here. We go up front. Rex Hoyle did get put back to your race lead, so tough break for the number 6. As Art Hamill drives the Ford Mustang pace car here for the DECAF late model tour. The lights are out. He has extinguished them. So that means that we will be going green flag racing here. So he'll pull it down on pit road. And Rex Hoyle and Joe Schaefer Jr. going to bring us to the green flag as we go back green flag here on the front stretch. Schaefer with a nice launch down to the turn number 1. Will the 54 of Hoyle contact between the 35 and the 85 as they work down the back stretch. Adam Jones now working to the outside of the 54 of Rex Hoyle. They come off to put lap 32 into the books, working lap 33. And now your race leader is the number 6 of Schaefer. Jones working to the outside. Hill got the number 89 Ford Fusion car, trying to get around the 54 of Hoyle. And they've got the 13 of Caleb Fortin boxed in there. I'd like to say happy Thanksgiving to our friends north of the border there up in Canada, especially to the 13 competitor racing here on Thanksgiving for Canada. Down here in the States, we got to wait about another month or so till we can have our Turkey Day. Morton's going to work to the outside now. He'll take a look to the outside of the 54 of Hoyle. He'll pull even down the back stretch as they'll drag race in the turn number 3. Have to wonder that with the tires starting to wear out if the outside line is going to be the place to be. And here comes Justin Rigsby. Forward up 11 spots. Now Rigsby, this is the battle for your 3rd spot. As Fortin has it, Hoyle would like to get back there. So your top 5 cars have broken away with Schaefer opening up a half a second lead over the 89 of Adam Jones. So we go up to our blimp cam. They work off turn number 4 to put lap 37 onto the books, working lap 38. 5-car breakaway up here in the front of this one, but we've got some good action back here. They work here. Jeff Stiles runs in 6th, but now Watkins looking very racy, trying to get underneath the 35. Of Garrett. Matt Eddy getting down pit road as well. He runs in your 9th position as now Garrett tries to make a move on the 85 of Stiles. Garrett running that yellow line down there. Stiles running the outside a little bit, keeping the momentum built up in his Chevy. Things seem to simmer down here. Andy Lambert with his torn up priority auto number 8. He runs in your 10th spot. Dean Gallison right behind him. Is now Eddie. He'll go to the inside as well as we got a bid for 5th. Garrett, this is the battle for 6th. Garrett working the inside, gets a little bit loose, doesn't quite clear the 85 of Stiles. He'll draw even down to turn number 1. Garrett now going to take that position, but here comes the good fellas, number 85. Jeff Stiles, driver out of Lexington, Kentucky. This time he'll give that position to Garrett. Not quite down, tries to go to the inside. Garrett will slam the door shut on the 85 of Stiles. As now he'll have the pressure on the Nationwide Auto Parts, number 88. Of Matt Eddy. Watkins close in tow as well. Rounding out your 9th spot. Closing in on the halfway point up front, it is Joe Schaefer who has opened up about a 20-car length advantage over Adam Jones, who's feeling the pressure from Guillaume Fortin. Fortin going to now take a bit to the inside off of turn number 2. So Jones will kiss the outside concrete just momentarily. Is that enough for the 13 of Fortin? Fortin moves into your number 2 spot, now sets his sight. He'll have to stretch his legs to trying to catch up to the number 6 of Schaefer. Is now Rigsby's going after the 89 of Jones. Jones in the 3rd spot, trying to hold on to that podium position as he holds off so far the number 99 of Justin Rigsby. And that is the battle that's tire to tire off turn numbers 2. Rex Hoyle back there as well. They come down on board with the dash cam. With Rex Hoyle, driver out of North Carolina. Watching the 2 guys battle in front of him. Adam Jones on the outside. The 99 of Justin Rigsby on the inside. Which lane is going to move? Rigsby almost clears the 99. That time off the corner, he will do so. So now Rigsby, can he catch Fortin, who is 1.4 seconds behind our race leader of Schaefer? Will they use their tires up trying to catch the back bumper of the Epic Media number 6? Matt Eddy runs in the 8th spot. Jeremy Watkins 9th. Running out your top 10 is number 8 of Andy Lambert. We'll have to get Chris on the phone after this one. Say we need a new front bumper, new rear bumper cap, maybe some left side tins as well for that priority auto number 8. Doing pretty good though, despite the damage. 1 spot outside of the top 10 is the driver of the number 30. This is Dean Gallison. Gallison hails from Middlesex, Vermont with a good enough race in number 30. Driver right behind him on the Speedway is the 777. That is Jeremy Carpenter. The CEG Casino Quest number 777. Sharp looking hot rod as he works off the corner. Still down 4 laps to your race leader. Drivers on pit road include the 22 of Mike Holzclaw, the 32 of Eric Steele, A.J. Hamill, and the number 05 of Dylan Blankenship, who did not take the green flag here tonight. So troubles with the 05 of Blankenship. Tough to see that for that competitor. As up front, the 6 of Schaefer on cruise control. You see the 13 of Fortin back there. Hasn't quite closed up the gap, still 1.5 seconds behind the number 6. Fortin comes in tonight as your points leader, but might have to give that up here tonight. Rigsby up 10 spots in the 3rd spot. Adam Jones 4th, up 11. Rex Hoyle started 5th, runs in 5th. That rounds out your top 5. Jason Garrett in the number 35 right here on your screen. He runs in your 6th spot. 7th spot will go to Jeff Stiles. Matt Eddy runs in 8th. Jeremy Watkins having a good night. Runs in 9th position after leading laps early on. Andy Lambert 10th. Dean Gallison 11th. Chris Stump runs in your 12th and is their last car on the lead lap. The last car working around the Speedway is the 777 of Jeremy Carpenter. Up front is the number 6 of Schaefer. This time by puts a 60 in the books here as we are closing in on 30 laps to go. Schaefer running that inside line in the Epic Media number 6. His running mate back there in the 2nd spot, Keelan Fort. Came in tonight as the points leader. I believe it's going to be very close as we head into next week's Twin 100s at the Bull Ring. It'll be a 9 o'clock start time here next week for the season finale of the DECAF Late Model Tour. Portland now almost 2 seconds behind your race leader. Of Schaefer. Rigsby starting to close in now on to 13. Justin Rigsby runs in your 3rd spot. And Ryan's fatted calf, number 99. Adam Jones still holding off the American Tire Distributor, number 54 of Rex Hoyle. Hoyle starting to put the pressure to him, trying to find a way around him. Couple yellows early on in this one. It's been green ever since. Lap number 3 contact between the 32 of Eric Steele And the 98 of Chris Stump caused the big parking lot down the back stretch. Unfortunately, has taken the number 18 Arts Barbershop number 18 of AJ Hamill behind the wall for the remainder of this event. And the last wreck was on lap 31 when Steele got to the back side of the 22 of Mike Holtzclaw, who has terminated his night. So Holtzclaw and Eric Steele also down on pit road, possibly behind the wall. His crew's trying to make repairs to them, but they've been down there for 5 minutes plus down on pit road. This is a good battle for your fourth position. Hoyle still trying to find a way. Is now the 89 up against the wall. Just might have kissed the concrete just a little bit. Fortin pedaling as best he can. Now with a good battle down here in the corner. 54 of Hoyle trying to get to the inside. Can't quite do it. Trouble for the number 35 of Garrett. He was running inside your top 10. He has come down pit road, possibly contact with the outside wall, as the battle for fourth still is a good one. Hoyle down to the inside. He'll draw even. He got the sword out. As the Fords will battle it out for your fourth position. Hoyle working the inside nice and patiently. Now the 89 of Jones trying to keep him at bay. This battle still rages on. They are drag racing down the front stretch. Give the advantage to the 89 of Jones that time. He's got the momentum. He's up there running the second lane and kind of diamonds it up off the corner. It's getting a good drive off the corner right now. He'll hold on to your fourth position. .26 laps to go as this battle still is a good one, as they are side by side. This time off turn number 4. Jones with the momentum on the outside. He'll keep the 54 at bay. Down here in the turn, we see the brake rotor starting to glow on the 54, using them to stay off the inside door panel of the 89 of Jones. Schaefer out front on cruise control, 2.6 seconds over Guillaume Fortin. Justin Rigsby now has caught up to the backside, as that's going to be a battle for second here in a moment. Lap traffic dead ahead of him. He's got the number 30 of Gallison in there, as Hoyle now takes over fourth from Adam Jones. They keep flip-flopping it. We go back here and see this battle. That time a crossover move, couldn't quite execute it. Now Hoyle, sole position of your fourth spot. He looks to chase down Jason Rigsby. This battle happening 4 seconds behind second and third place, with battles off turn number 2. Gallison up on the outside as your race leaders work on by. Rigsby is catching the back bumper as we go on board with the man out of Bowling Green. He works the steering wheel down the front stretch. See how fast you're going. 85 miles an hour in the center of the corner. We'll see how fast these late models get down in the turn. So So topping out at 115 miles an hour, so not much fall off between the corners. This track is very fast. Here is Rigsby is really starting to close in on the 13 and 14. They work underneath the 777 of Jeremy Carpenter. Carpenter having a miscue on the start of this one. Had to start from the pits. Has lost 4 laps. Now 5 laps down to your race leader. So not the night that the 777 was looking for. Had high hopes coming into Nashville. Talked to him a little bit earlier on in the evening. Fortin runs in second, but up front, it is this man, driver out of Wisconsin. Driver for the posse. Joe Schaefer Jr. showing the way. He's working up to the backside of the Big Johnson, number 98 of Chris Stump. Stump rounding out your top 10 is the last car on the lead lap. Car has seen better days. He was caught up early in that first wreck. Trying to salvage a good point stay here inside the top 10. Schaefer will cut to the inside. Stump getting up out of the race crew. Stump used to drive in the ESA days. I believe he's raced here. He sent some pictures on Facebook where they have destroyed some cars here. And when you hit here, you hit. They'll knock your 2 pay back to your 4 pay. Portland still runs second. Justin Rigsby third. Rex Hoyle now fourth. He has pulled away from Adam Jones. Jeff Stiles runs in your 6th spot. Matt Eddy 7th. Andy Lambert 8th. And Jeremy Watkins in the top 10. Just going down 1 lap to your race leader. This time by will be 11 laps to go. Watkins with a good showing here. Driver out of Ohio. Really starting to get comfortable in these cars. Ran a bunch of laps during the off week last week. Last time by, your top 3 cars all within 1/100th of a second of each other. This time by, last time by, they got the double high 5 sign. Will be 9 to go for the 6th of Joe Schaefer. Schaefer really smooth on the gas and on the steering wheel as they work behind the number 8 of Lambert. Seven laps to go. Fortin runs second, trying to stop as much bleeding as possible, but Schaefer, barring an unforeseen mistake or an error from someone in front of him, going to go on to win his 6th race in 9 starts here this season. I believe once the drops get factored in, Schaefer potentially could be your points leader headed into the bull ring next week for the season finale's Twin 100s. This time by the high 5 sign. 5 laps to go here at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. A Nashville hot night for the DECAF Late Model Tour. Now Schaefer working back to the back bumper of the Nationwide Auto Parts number 88 of Eddie. He'll get on by him down the front stretch with 4 laps to go. Fortin now starting to feel the pressure. He's got the 99 of Rigsby. This is the battle for your second position. Looking back at the 99 of Rigsby with 3 laps to go. Can Rigsby mount a charge to try to take that second position away? Popsicle sticks are up in the air. We've got 2 laps to go.
Brian, copy.
2 laps to go. Here the white flag is going to fly, the final trip around the speedway for the Epic Media car number 6. Joe Schaefer Jr. coming off a turn number 4. Checkered flag is out. Joe Schaefer will pick up his 6th win of the season. Coming home in second, Guillaume Fortin. And third will be the number 99 of Justin Rigsby. Rax Hoyle crosses the line in 4th, and rounding out your top 5, the driver coming across the stripe now, that is Adam Jones. Adam Jones, your 5th and final car on the lead lap. As everybody will slow down here. We'll be here to see Joe Schaefer Jr. He picks up the win. He'll stop here on the Big Machine Vodka front stretch. Is your top 3 are lining up here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. We'll be right back after a quick word from our sponsors, and we'll have your post-race show for the DECAF Late Model Tour.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
Bowling brings people together.
Right down the middle. You got it. Uh-oh. Good job.
See what you can do, man.
Oh! Wait.
That's a strike right there. Woo! Connect with family and friends. Go bowling.
And welcome back here to the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, where we have just wrapped up Nashville Hot Night, and we are down here in Victory Lane for the 6th time this season with our feature event winner, Joe Schaefer, and 6 wins on the season. Did you ever think that was going to even be possible at the start of this season?
No, I really didn't. And I was saying after the race that I'm surprised at how well this has been working out for me. It really boils down to tires. I've felt, in the past few weeks, especially at Five Flags, that, Rex and G both had more raw speed than I did. And it really just came down to tires at the end and no late restarts to make me prove it. That's kind of how it felt tonight. I did what I could to save everything I had. just hoping if we got that late restart, I'd have enough to hold them off. Luckily, we didn't get it, but I've been really surprised with how much success I've had this season.
And it's not been it hasn't been an easy season with the DECAF Late Model Tour. They do a handicap, so when finishing up front, you have to come from the back every week. How much of a challenge is that, coming from the back of the pack to the front? And it's you and Fortin and Rigsby and you guys that are up front and finishing here on the podium. I feel like I talked to you 6 times so far this season. So that means you guys are starting in the rear of the field. How challenging is that coming up through the field, especially on some of these racetracks?
Well, at a place like this, where it's fast and any contact is probably going to severely injure your night, it's a big test of patience. That being said, this is a really, really respectful league. So starting at the tail or starting mid-pack, I've never feared for my safety, if for lack of a better term. Everybody is really respectful and gives you room when you're there and makes space when you need it. They're really good in anticipation of how traffic's going to funnel, where your car is going to be on corner exit. That being said, a couple of them could have raced G a little harder to put a gap between us, but other than that, it's been a challenge. But at the same time, it's people around me and the people we're racing with have made it a lot of fun.
That's good to hear. We like hearing that it's fun, and I think AJ's doing a great job here with the Coffee Cup Racing League. Next week is the season finale. After tonight, we will have one drop factored in. Unofficially, I believe that might put you with the edge over the 13 of Fortin. Going into next week, you're going to have to start tallying the feature number 1 at the Bull Ring. How is the Bull Ring for you and your team?
We'll find out. I've only raced there one other time or 2 other times on a fixed setup. One time was in the ARCA car with AJ's league, and that went really well. The other one was in the super late, and I burned it up in a hurry. So probably have to do more of the ARCA car strategy and keep the right front on it, because I know turn 1 gets really tight if that right front falls off.
And not only have to do it once, but twice next week. So twin 100s. And those races, if you have a bad one, it could really end or make your season, as that, by my understanding, is not droppable. So this was the last race that you could use a drop in. So hopefully you have a good week next week, and we'll be talking to you on the podium at least once next week. Who makes it all possible for you and get you this far into the season?
I think Epic Media and Drew Krybeck and the posse, and AJ as always for AJ and you for keeping this thing running the way it is. And heading into next week, I'll just say I'm looking forward to fighting it out with Guillaume at the end there, and see what happens after the drop. But it's been a fun race with him all season, so good luck to him as well.
There you have it. That is tonight's feature winner. That is Joe Schaefer. We'll slide down here just one spot to your number 2 position, the driver out of Quebec, Canada. That is Guillaume Fortin. And Fortin just coming up shy behind the number 6 here tonight. Another good solid night for you headed into championship week next week. But what else did you need out of the car here tonight to possibly get up there and challenge for the win?
Yeah, another right front would have been pretty helpful, but like always, I come up short one spot from Joe. All year long, he's been better for receiving a start than me. I always feel faster at the beginning, but I need to slow down a bit and keep that right front for the end.
How challenging is that? Halfway through the season, or I wouldn't even say halfway through the season, Iracing and AJ decided to give you guys a new Hoosier compound to work here on the late model cars, and some have really taken to it, and some are still trying to figure it out. Which camp would you say you're in as we head into the season finale next week at the Bull Ring?
I'm still trying to figure it out. I burn my right front too much. All races I do with this new tire model, but I think I'm getting better. And the more races I do, the better I'm going to be. And it's always trying to beat Joe.
Yeah, he's a tough competitor and but very clean. So it's got to be fun out there racing with the number 6 week in and week out. Next week, we head to the Bullring Twin 100s. How's the outlook for you and your team there?
Well, not good. I gotta say, I'm not really looking forward to the bull ring. I really hate this place. I'm not good, so I think I'm gonna have a lot of work to do this week.
Well, we wish you the best of luck headed into next week. We'll see what the official standings go in there, but you should have a good chance of coming home with the inaugural championship for the DECAF Late Model Tour. What would that mean to you to become the first the champion of this series?
Oh, honestly, it would mean a lot to me because I'm running against the best driver on Iracing. Joe, Justin, AJ, Chris Stump, and everybody in this league are all championship potential drivers, so it would mean a lot winning a championship.
Well, we wish you the best of luck. Before we let you go to head out west to the bull ring, who makes it possible for you?
Racing Design and Rumor Vinyl Design are always there for me, and AJ for putting up this league. It's really fun.
There you have it. That's your second place finisher here tonight at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. Guillaume Fortin is now will slide down to the last man here on the podium. Last but not least, it is the driver out of the Attitude Esports, number 99, Justin Rigsby. Justin, you came up through the field pretty good there and come home with a third place finish. You had a lot of good battles out there.
Yeah, man, it was tough to pass, wasn't it? You'd get on the bottom groove, and if they could drive you clean and pinch you, it was hard to get the run off to pass. But we made our way up through the field a little better, than I'd expected, especially starting back in 13th. But the Fatted Calf, Camaro or Monte Carlo Super Sport was good. I tried to save tires the first 25 laps, Al. I tried to ride back toward the middle without getting in any trouble, which almost didn't happen lap 1, but I guess I didn't save well enough.
Yeah, the race was only slowed 2 times here tonight, so very good display up by all the drivers here tonight. How tough is it when you get those long green flag runs and you're up 10 positions? Guillaume was the hard charger up 12 and Joe up 11 here tonight. How hard is it knowing that you have to push to kind of stay with those guys but also not try to abuse those Hoosier Racing tires?
It's a pretty gray area, and I'm still working to figure that out. Like I said, I thought, after running some laps in practice and seeing how much the tire did fall off, I thought, maybe trying to run 20, 25 easy laps would really help me in the long run. And I guess in the grand scheme it did. We got up to third, and was catching the 13 there, but didn't have anything for the 6. So still trying to find that fine line of, am I pushing hard enough? Am I hanging on just enough? I was back to 8th or 9th at one point, and they were pulling away. And if it would have went green from that point, I'm not sure. I may have been too far back. So that second caution really helped us out and got us a good jump to get up here.
Now, with the new tire model that you guys are on, do the yellow flags hurt or help the performance of the tires? I know with the old compound, you kind of wanted to keep them cool or cool them off during the yellow flag periods, but with the new tire model, do you need to take in cool them down, or do you got to keep them a little bit warm to get that grip on those restarts?
I feel like you still got to keep them warm. I know with this car, and then also the supers that just switch tires. I'm not as good on restarts as others, or at least I don't feel like I am. So it takes me a few laps to get the heat back in the tires and get going. So I think we all still got some learning to do with these new tires, but I think it has improved the racing and definitely let you manhandle the car a little bit more.
Next week we head out west for the season finale Twin 100s at the Bull Ring. It's a tough little bull ring out there, nose to tails, a lot of bumper tags out there. Are you looking forward to the season finale?
I'm just going to close my eyes and turn left and hope it works out.
It sounds like all 3 of the top finishers here tonight not in favor of the bull ring, so that means that the league owner and the series is making it tough on you guys, which is what we like. We like to see a good challenge for you guys out there. Twin 100s next week. Before you head out west, you're going to stop back home in Kentucky and get the car ready to go. Who makes it all possible for you?
I just think Fatted Calf, Heritage Barbershop. I think we got Ski Daddies on the car as well. Attitude Graphics for the help with the paints. And then Attitude Esports teammates help out trying to find some speed. And hopefully we can go into the bull ring and figure something out. I know it's a tight track and should have some old school racing because there's only one groove there and you got a bump to pass. So we'll see what happens.
Definitely see what happens. Well, congratulations on your third place finish here tonight at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. We'll see you next week out in Vegas. We'll bring some extra money. We'll go down to the downtown and maybe win some extra there next week.
Look forward to it. Thanks, Al.
There you have it. That is your third place finisher here tonight, the number 99 of Justin Rigsby, here as we take a look at the finishing results here tonight. Joe Schaefer picking up the win, 3.5 seconds over Guillaume Fortin. Justin Rigsby, you just heard from him, finishing in the third spot. Rex Hoyle, fourth, and Adam Jones rounding out your top 5. Jeff Stiles, Matt Eddy, and Andy Lambert all rounding out your top 8. Ninth, it was Chris Stump, and rounding out your top 10, Jeremy Watkins, Dean Gallison, Jeremy Carpenter, Jason Garrett, Mike Holtzclaw, Eric Steele, and A.J. Hamill, rounding out the 16-car field that took the green flag. Unfortunately, Dylan Blankenship having electrical issues with the 0-5. He'll get credited with the 17th position. Headed into next week on foot with no drops factored in at the Arts Barbershop Championship standings. Guillaume Fortin with no drops is your current points leader, just 22 points ahead of Joe Schaefer Jr. Justin Rigsby, third. A.J. Hamill, fourth. Adam Jones rounding out your top 5 in the Arts Barbershop Championship standings. So with that being said, that will be a wrap here tonight at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. We hope you've enjoyed tonight's broadcast. If you have, you're watching on the Facebook page, take and give us a like. If you are watching us on the YouTube, take and give us a like. Hit the subscribe button, mash that thumbs up. Let the drivers know that you are thankful for the opportunity to watch them race here week in, week out. Next week, we will head to the bull ring to show you the championship night. It's Twin 100s coming to you next week here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. But for everybody behind the scenes, for Charlie Smith, our race director, Art Hamill, our pace car director, and Barney up in the Flagstaff, I am the boss man, Al Smith, and we hope you have a great night. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week for the season finale.